That early evening was no different, and Nora eventually came back. Helen noticed that her little coat was still missing from the hanger by the door, but didn't give it a second thought. Mark, Nora's father, quickly hid the screen when he heard his daughter's steps on the stairs and turned on his chair, getting ready to engage with her. The routine suited Helen. She liked the sense of order in her life because she didn't always have the luxury of it. Her husband also seemed to appreciate it. Neither Mark nor Anna, their daughter, had to deal with much in their lives. They were born into a hostile world, but a world that remained the same for as long as they could remember. Perhaps that was the reason behind their endless fascination with the show and the need to break the predictability Helen strived to inflict on all of them. They ate, and the sun was still up in the sky by the time the group split and headed to their bedrooms. In bed, Helen kept her eyes open until she heard the deep breath of her husband taking him away from the wake state. She always did that, never really understanding the habit herself. Somewhat alone in the apartment, she finally could admit to herself how much she cherished and dreaded the repetitiveness at the same time. She learned to take things as they were, but consciously reminded herself to be grateful for what she had and how uneventful her life has been for the past 30 years. The need to ask for more never disappeared, but she has been stifling it. Maybe that's why she couldn't get behind the people of light craze and refused to engage with the frenzy their presence in the city started. She knew the intrigue was too powerful to resist once she got the taste of it. A group of performers from another planet? Unique, breathtaking, and mysterious? That is what all the articles said, at least the few she had skimmed before stopping herself. They were not the first thing from the outer space. As long as Helen remembered, they were getting all kinds of materials from the surrounding planets. But this was the first time anyone claimed to have found life and even brought it back to Earth. The mere fact that that was possible, that there were other sentient beings out there, has always made Helen somewhat uncomfortable. But having them in her own city added layers of conspiracy and fear. She worried about the consequences and what could happen if the rest of them decided to also come to Earth. Her routine was too comfortable to lose. She was not the only one. There were, especially in the beginning, other people voicing their fear, and even small protests gathered by the stadiums in the first weeks of the show. But soon the outrage died down, and everybody moved on. Helen had never met any of the creatures out in the wild and had never heard of anyone else encountering them, not from a credible source. Nobody really knew what was happening to them or where they were when not performing, but so long they didn't show up on the street and in the shops, the public forgot. After all, people, such as her daughter, loved this possibility and were almost obsessed with the chance to see them. And I called them beautiful creatures. Helen was uneasy looking at their photos because of how human-like they were. Their bodies were bent in strange shapes, unnatural to her own, and then there was the light. Some had only a hand, but others entire upper bodies or legs glowed in the dark. If it was only for her, she may embrace the mystery, but she felt too protective of Nora.